Hi, my name is Paul Easton. I'm from lemonangels.com. We are a company that's set up to provide interviews and meet with people that have been, families especially, that have been fed a lemon in life. And a lemon is something that has gone wrong, that is not necessarily their fault, but it's something that's brought pain and um, it's something that's happened that they didn't expect, which is thrown a curveball in life. And I'm sitting here with Caleb and Crystal today. Hey guys, how are you?
Hello.
I'll just chuck this down. Just let me put this down so it's a bit easier to see it. No, the other one. That one. There you go. That's better. So, you guys, I know I'm talking to you from the other side of the world here. Could you tell me a little bit about what's been going on in your family in the past and what's been going on in your life more than anything else?
This is my husband Cameron, and about a year or so ago, he was diagnosed with FSGS, which is a kidney disease, which is in most African Americans. And so, basically, what it is it stops your kidneys from produce or either getting the waste out. So it has where it leaks out protein out of your kidneys. So with that going on, he actually is in stage 5 kidney failure. So basically, from we got married in 2015, and so maybe like in January of 2016, Cameron was he had to stop working because he had to start dialysis. So it was more so of like we was going back and forth in and out of the hospital. So it was where he couldn't work, but I had to take on all of the bills. So it got to the point where things went past due. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do, take out loans, different things like that. But what the ultimate goal was to make sure that everything kept running smoothly while he was able to go through treatment. Now what's going on is he's actually doing dialysis 3 days a week at a dialysis center. It all started out because the doctor called and said, hey, you need to come into the office. And at first he was at stage 3. So the doctor basically said, hey, we looked at your labs and we had to call you in because you now hit stage 5, which is the last stage of kidney failure. So as far as with that being said, it was we had immediately had to do emergency dialysis. So what was told to us that we needed to start home dialysis because if he does home dialysis, what'll happen is it helps him to continue his life because he's at that time he was 24, he's now 25. So
Oops, it's frozen. Can you still hear me?
I'm sorry.
No, the screen froze. It's back now.
Oh, and so basically he was saying that, with the dialysis at home, with you being so young, you can still live your life and all this kind of stuff. So what happened was we went through the whole process of the dialysis as far as like I had to take off work. Good thing that my job did work with me as far as I would have to maybe go in maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, leave, come back. And so it was just a back and forth thing as far as gas and everything like that. But either way, we went through it maybe 2 weeks. And then within 2 weeks, the catheter that they put in his stomach, which is, I think it's peritoneal.
It's called PD.
Yeah, PD dialysis. So they put a catheter in your stomach, and that's the way that they do the dialysis. So what happened was the catheter got flipped upside down. And so during I think the second week, Cameron was like in pain. Like it was to the point where he probably couldn't sleep some nights. He at that point for about maybe almost a month, he wasn't able to sleep in the bed. So it was more so like he was sleeping on the couch, and it was like he may had to take a pain pill or two because he was in so much pain. And so what happened was they found out it was flipped upside down. Then he had to go back in surgery, and they took that out. They put in another catheter, which was here, and it's called a perm cath. It's like in your chest.
So it's going through your neck, coming out of your chest.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah.
Inconvenient.
It's very, very inconvenient. The PD I had in my stomach was a lot more painful. I thought the perm cath I had in my neck was going to be much painful, but it's not as painful as it sounds. but it is a high risk for an infection.
Yeah.
So it's not so much as to when, how they say, if it'll get infected, so much as when it'll get infected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I had the catheter in my stomach, I did have something called peritonitis. And what that is, that's an infection that you get in your stomach, and it has to hurry to be cured. So that's something else that's just on top of it all together, as far as with my kidneys being failed, and us trying to go through the process of dialysis, and me being such at a young age. Me being at a young age is something new to you, so you're learning something different every day. At the moment, I have a fistula in my arm. I did get my perm calf taken out, so I don't have to really worry about the infections. When you have a perm calf in your neck, you can't take as many baths, so you have to.
You can't swim, and you can't sweat. It's just so kind of like an inconvenience for you.
Yeah, so your everyday life, or you have to work out, or try to get some walking in, or just trying to exercise to keep your body to a certain weight, because doing a transplant, you have to have a certain BMI.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, I'm getting there with my BMI now. But you see, I am pretty much a big guy, so I am getting down to my BMI weight that they require me at. Like I did mention, I do have a fistula in my arm. My left arm now is doing very good. Some days the dialysis is not doing so good, but we're making do. And
so how long? So has it been, what, over a year you've been going through this?
Yes, sir. It's actually been probably about over a year. What happened was the doctors told me that it's possible that I had this since I was maybe 19 or younger. At the time, it wasn't a way to test for it. That's what we were informed. When he told me about the disease that I have, it's a trait that'll be inside of my body for the rest of my life. So there's pretty much no cure for FSGS.
Okay, so does it mean it gets passed on? Does it get passed on as well?
No, it's something that'll skip like from generation to generation. My mother, she has a horseshoe kidney. What a horseshoe kidney is both of your kidneys joined as one, and they're the shape of a U shape. So they call that a horseshoe kidney. My grandfather, he died of kidney cancer. And so it's possible that it's running in my family, and I'm just the type that came with this disease. It also comes from high blood pressure that's not being treated, from all the scarring on your tissues around your kidney. And I wasn't treated for high blood pressure because I never had it, not that I was aware. Mm-hmm. But they finally did go ahead and get that under control as well. My blood pressure is now under control. And now, after the kidney transplant, if I do get a kidney, they said it's like a 3% chance that the FSGS will come back, but the trait will still be inside of my body.
So it's a bit like a cancer, isn't it? It's still sitting there.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So pretty much in another term, that it's still in your body. It's under control. As much as the doctors have told me, they said it'll slow it down tremendously. A new kidney will help out tremendously a lot as far as cleaning my blood, filtering me with more urine, because people that have kidney failure does not produce as much urine as like a normal person would.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's just a few things about it.
Yeah, so for a kidney transplant, you've got to find a right donor and a right match and everything. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. So they have a new thing now. I think it's called a switch donor. Or I have my father. He wants to be a donor, and I have a friend that's going to be a donor. If either one of them are matched to me, what the hospitals are doing now is they are finding your match with someone maybe in Australia. They have a match for you. So you and that friend, those two people, they can switch. So you'll still get a kidney. So if you had a donor yourself and I had a donor and your donor was my match and vice versa, then they can switch the kidneys out. If that made
okay. Sounds difficult, but anyway, and operation and pain and a long process, right?
I do have live donors. Live donors are probably more preferred versus a deceased donor, because the kidney, the lifespan, it said lifespan is more. I think it's a 3-year lifespan on it, the kidney. I'm not really sure about that part, but I think it says a longer lifespan versus a live donor versus a deceased donor.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, I know it's obviously affected your work. Were you working full time before?
Yes, sir. I was working full time. I had a regular everyday job, just like everybody else, going to work every day. Just a regular everyday life. Now I'm kind of limited on certain things that can do. Being in and out of the hospital is tremendously. Going to dialysis about 5 hours and 30 minutes every day.
5 hours,
So,
5 hours and 38 minutes. Do you say every day? Is that 5 days a week? 7 days a week?
No, sorry,
3 days.
for the 3 days, from Monday.
3 days. Yep.
Monday, Wednesday. Yes, sir. I go there 5 hours and 30 minutes for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's kind of hard to even get back in the work field if you got those 3 days out of the week. And then, you have to recuperate your body from dialysis.
Okay. And so how does your medical system cover that? I'm not totally familiar with how the American medical system works. So tell me how that covers at that end.
So I have Medicare and Medicaid Part A and Part B. They help out with that far as well. My father's insurance, Cigna, he helps me out with that as well. So the insurance, they cover my dialysis treatments. Also my medication that I have to have, my blood pressure medicines, my binders medicine I have to take. Also, when you have kidney failure and you're on dialysis, you have to watch stuff that's phosphorus, potassium, calcitriol, the phosphates, all different kinds of stuff. You're on a renal diet, basically. So I have to take binders every time I eat. I have to take 4 pills with each meal, 4 pills with each snack. So I'm constantly swallowing pills like tremendously.
Yeah.
So, and those binders knock out the phosphorus in the food, breaks it down, and it releases out of your stool. So
Okay.
That's one thing that helps you out too. But you have to keep those levels down and your potassium levels down. And
Okay.
pretty much.
So how is this? I know this would have how this would affect your income overall, and how is that sort of affect how you live?
Well, the income part comes in where there were 2 incomes in the house, so it wasn't where something was lacking. It was either I took care of this part, and then he came in and took care of the rest. So now it's to the point where sometimes some things have to get pushed back, some things just don't get paid. Like it's even been times where we're just like, okay, well, this has to go off, and we have to keep this on. Like for a while, it was where we had to make sure our cell phones stayed on, because usually no one uses a landline anymore, so we had to make sure our cell phones were still on, as far as just to make sure we got doctor's appointment calls and different things like that. The cable may have went off, different things like that. It was sometimes where we would have to tell our rent office, hey, can you give me maybe like 2 weeks so that I can try to get the other half of the rent together, because at this point, the income is lacking. So it was where I had to take out loans and, payments, and went behind. So in turn, it messes up your credit, of course, as far as when you start to get loans and credit cards and you're not able to pay them on time. So that came into play. We only have 1 car right now. So it was like back and forth, as far as I have to go to work, then I have to take off to take him. So it was like gas. That's a lot of money to put in your car, going back and forth. Then on top of that, now because he's going through where he's getting the evaluation part, now we have to travel. So with us having to travel, then that costs money too. Nothing in the world seems right now is not free. So, a lot of things, just regular stuff, sometimes you have to cut back on groceries. we may have just say $50 until next payday, which I only get paid bi-weekly. So it kind of puts a strain as far as on some bills. It's some bills now that I'm called, I get calls from creditors saying, or, bill collectors, hey, you owe this. Hey, I don't have it right now. So you may just have to wait. So as far as we've reached out to just say food assistance, I make too much money for food assistance. But the only thing is, with everything else piling up, you kind of need that assistance. So when it comes down to as far as the income, it was more so where he came in to make up the bit that I couldn't pay for, then that's where it's kind of lacking. So some stuff has gotten cut off. Some stuff is like I may have to pay it, when I can. So that's where the financial strain came in at.
Okay, and that's where your GoFundMe campaign is going towards, right?
Yes, as far as more so towards him when we go travel, as far as for evaluations, and when he actually gets the call to say, hey, we have a kidney for you. We don't want to, be in that position where it's like, dang, we can't get down there.
Yeah, currently okay, go ahead.
Have you got any idea when that'll be or where that'll be?
I went down to Atlanta about a week ago. I went to Piedmont Hospital.
So how far is it from where you are now?
Atlanta is about 2.5, 3 hours away from where I live now.
Okay.
And that's from, so go down to Atlanta, Georgia. There's going to have to be a couple trips down there after. So I already went down there for evaluation. So that back and forth, and we have to make a couple more trips down there. After you get the kidney, they have to see you.
I think maybe like a year, during the year's time after you get the kidney.
Yeah, they have to see you like once a month after you get your kidney. So it's going to be told on that. So basically, mostly the GoFundMe account was for basically trying to help out within the house as far as rent, power bills. We tried reaching out to the Alabama Kidney Foundation, but they said my wife made too much money.
No, yep.
So they had a certain amount that you couldn't make in a month, and I think that she was over that amount by maybe, I think like $50, $80. So we couldn't get help from them. My parents and her parents, they try to help out as they can, but you really don't want to put that burden on another household and then try to have them balancing two households in one. We do have a big support system with our family.
That's good.
So they do help us out when we need it. But then again, I want to work, but I can't, because if I do work, it's kind of like you're paying for gas because you're going there for 2 days. So
yeah, and it just balances out. It just equals out, right? It tends to you're paying for your gas, and so that's about it. It's not much point.
Yeah.
Hey.
So like, if I'm at dialysis for 5 hours and 30 minutes, 3 days out of the week, and the other 2 days I'm at work, that's just basically gas money. I've applied for disability, but they've told me that I have to be disabled for 5 months. We're constantly calling them. The date's constantly getting pushed back, and we're not even sure on the date that they gave us this time.
Yeah.
So
big system, big government system, hard to get around. I get that. That's everywhere, regardless of country. Yeah. That's the way it is. They want you to support yourself, I guess. Hey, hey, thanks very much for sharing your pain, especially being so young. If you were in your 50s, I thought, okay, it's probably more common, but under 30, that's a hard game to play with. And you're very candid, you're very clear, and thanks very much for you, Cam, coming on the actual call. So just to wrap it up, and so if anyone's watching this video, I'm going to be putting the link up to his guys' GoFundMe campaign. If you can at least share or like the page and get that going, and if you can help out, just follow the link below the video and just please pass it on to as many people as you can. These guys, like we just talked about, they seem to be sitting in the middle where they're basically middle class and they don't qualify for a lot of help, so that they are helping themselves, which is, I really think, is a key point, and good on you guys for that. So please, whoever's watching this, please share it and pass it on, and we'll sign off, and I wish you guys the best.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank
much.
you so much.
No worries. See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.